On 19th of September 2017, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake shook the nation of Mexico, causing the collapse of many buildings and resulting in 370 fatalities and 6,000 injuries. The devastating earthquake left thousands homeless and desperate, without water, food, or electricity, and grieving the loss of loved ones that did not survive. Moved by compassion, Prophet TB Joshua sent the Emmanuel TV team and partners to the affected areas in Mexico to bring help to the helpless and hope to the hopeless. Join us in this love work as we reach out to the people of Mexico, knowing that as Christians, we are called to respond to all human needs. The Emmanuel TV Earthquake Relief Mexico.
Magnitude 7.1 earthquake shook central Mexico on September the 19th, 2017, striking suddenly and leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. The Emmanuel TV Earthquake Relief Team, sent by TB Joshua and the Emmanuel TV Partners worldwide to assist with the survivors and search and rescue teams who were racing against time to save lives, had arrived in Mexico City the day after the central earthquake.
The officers in the green uniforms explain that the first need was to transport some food and water, which had been donated to a local reception center, to one of the emergency medical centers in the city. The Emmanuel TV vehicles pull up and are quickly loaded with the fresh food, bread and water for the emergency medical center on the other side of the city, and as fast as possible, the team were off to deliver their precious cargo. At the medical center, volunteers spring into action alongside the team to get the much-needed water and food to those who need it, both those working in the search and rescue mission and those being rescued from the rubble of crushed buildings.
While delivering the supplies to the emergency medical center, the doctors there explain an urgent need to send some medical supplies to one particular search and rescue zone, and they ask the Emmanuel TV team's help. These are some of the supplies to be delivered to the wanting search and rescue zone: medical fluids, medications, painkillers, neck collars, first aid essentials, and equipment for treating and dressing wounds. Led by one of the doctors, the Emmanuel TV team arrives in the search and rescue zone. Getting as close as they can by car, they take the supplies and continue on foot, making their way through the streets to the temporary store. Everywhere, you can see volunteers wearing masks and hard hats as safety precautions, as they are organized into groups to help with the rescue work.
On arrival at the scene, the rescue workers were making arrangements to have light and generators to enable them to work into the night, as the time is short for those trapped in the wreckage. Several 20-litre kegs are purchased by the Emmanuel TV team, and here they fill them with the necessary fuel and return to the search and rescue zone. The work was still going on strong as they carry the fuel into the building sites where the generators were being set up. Meanwhile, the industrial crane hoists a huge slab of concrete rubble away from the rescue zone.
But while the world's attention is on the capital city, many in poor villages in the south of Mexico, which were devastated by the even stronger 8.2 magnitude earthquake on the 7th of September, are still struggling. So the Emmanuel TV team decides to make the long journey by road to Oaxaca State to lend a helping hand.
So having seen the plight of our brothers and sisters in Oaxaca State, an Emmanuel TV team here in Mexico City is now preparing for the very long journey, carrying with us more than 500 boxes, ready to be packed full of food and hygiene supplies for the affected families down in Oaxaca State. As TB Joshua has taught us, God blesses us not only that we may earn a living, but so that we are able to give. The Emmanuel TV team has arrived here in southern Oaxaca State in Mexico, the area which was devastated by the massive earthquake on the 7th of September. The team is here going to collect and pack the food and the hygiene items into the over 500 multi-purpose boxes. The families in this area in 3 different villages are waiting for help. As TB Joshua has taught us, someone is waiting for you for a lifetime. Failing them is failing God.
The Emmanuel TV team moves straight to a wholesale warehouse in the nearest large town in Oaxaca State to pay for and collect the pre-ordered food and hygiene supplies for the earthquake survivors and rescue teams. The warehouse crew use trolleys and forklift trucks to load the large pallets of pre-ordered goods for the Emmanuel TV earthquake relief into the delivery lorry.
This truck was provided by a local businessman to the Emmanuel TV team to help in the transportation of the supplies from the warehouse to the affected areas. The loading process begins. First, with the large weighty pallets and plastic wrapped cartons, then with individual boxes and cartons of supplies to make sure as much as possible can be contained in the trucks. The process repeats for the second truck, stacking the items as high as they can go until there is no more space left. Now loaded full of essential food and hygiene supplies, the Emmanuel TV team set off on their journey to Juchitán, where the aid will be distributed to over 500 families that have been affected by the earthquake.
Arriving in Juchitán, the vehicles enter the compound that will be used as a logistics center to sort, pack, and store the supplies for distribution to the needy villages. Inside the base, Mexican volunteers assist the Emmanuel TV team to set out the multi-purpose plastic boxes which will be given out, one per family, filled with the food and essential hygiene items brought from the warehouse. While the colorful boxes were being set out, another group brings down the products from the trucks. A last step before the boxes are filled is to decorate them with an Emmanuel TV disaster relief sticker. These are the 500 boxes that will be given to families in the state of Oaxaca affected by the magnitude 8.2 earthquake.
Hola, buenos días. Nos encontramos aquí en Juchitán, en el estado de Oaxaca, en uno de los municipios afectados por el terremoto del día 7 de septiembre del 2017. Como ven a mis espaldas, se encuentran aquí los elementos que en un momento más serán distribuidos y empacados en cajas de plástico para que lleguen a esas familias directamente con tanta necesidad.
Now the job of sorting out the different products and sharing them into the boxes begins. Forming a chain, the team swiftly sends the items along from the tables and places them into the waiting boxes. They start with some of the bulkier items like storage boxes, paper towels and detergent, before adding tinned foods, cooking oil and other hygiene products. The memento note of encouragement reads, "Remember that there is always someone praying for you. You are not alone."
Como podemos observar, el equipo aún continúa trabajando, tratando de llenar estas cajas con alimentos básicos y productos de higiene básica que se verán entregados a esas familias que nos están esperando. También Emmanuel TV ha pensado llegar a estos corazones y a esos hogares con un pequeño recuerdo en su corazón, aparte traducido en la lengua huave, diciendo: recuerda que siempre hay alguien que está orando por ti. No estás solo.
After a good effort, the 500 boxes have been filled with love and enough supplies to make a big difference in the lives of those who will receive them. The difficulties imposed by the powerful earthquake just over a week ago are still very much being felt in the disadvantaged villages and areas of southern Oaxaca.
With everything ready at last, the Emmanuel TV team sets off early the next day to 2 different villages. First, San Mateo del Mar, an indigenous seaside fishing community, and Chicapa de Castro, an inland farming community a little further north. The level of devastation on the lower quality structures from the quake, which was over 500 times more powerful than the one which hit Mexico City, cannot be hidden.
Me llamo Jason y toda mi casa se cayó por el temblor, todas las paredes, toda la ropa de nosotros se quedó abajo y las cosas materiales, no importa, la vida es de nosotros, estamos bien.
While many families lost their homes, their possessions and their livelihoods, some even lost their lives. A bold sentiment from one so young, but a sentiment that seems shared among the villagers who have already started doing what they can to pick up the pieces, clean up the mess the earthquake left behind, and get back to normal life again.
Here, the Emmanuel TV team is led into the homes of some of the villagers to see the extent of what the earthquake did. Heavy furniture lies where the quake had thrown them down, and large cracks may be seen even in the concrete floor. Families from the villages gather to meet the Emmanuel TV team and receive from them the much-needed food and hygiene supplies, provided as an expression of love and solidarity by TV Joshua and the Emmanuel TV Partners. Everybody from grandparents to grandchildren happily form a line as the preparations are made for the distribution to begin. From the chairs scattered around, you can tell that they have been expecting the arrival of the team with some excitement, and are glad of the good news that someone has been thinking about them and that some relief has finally come.
The Emmanuel TV team sees it as a privilege to be in a position to help, guided by the words of TB Joshua that giving is a real privilege if it is done in a proper attitude. Those who are strong enough take the boxes themselves with a heave and a smile, while the elderly or weaker members of the community are assisted by the volunteers. The grateful families express their thanks for the provisions, which will go a long way to meet their needs in these trying times. The team takes a moment to explain to this elderly woman the contents of the box she's receiving, and she nods with satisfaction. The expression of their faces encourages those waiting on the line that it is well worth the wait. More and more families receive the food and hygiene gift boxes and express both their surprise and thanks for both the gift freely given and the hearts behind it.
Quiero saber si conoces la verdad de Jesucristo. Él te da paz, alegría, amor y te da fe. Quiero saber si algún día te hablaron de Él. ¿Cómo te hablaron? ¿Qué te dijeron? Compárteme. México ya fue comprado con la sangre de Jesucristo. Ahora es libre del pecado, ya es perdonado.
Muchas gracias a la organización que hizo posible este regalo tan grande que el pueblo de Chicapa lo necesita. Muchas gracias.
Yo me llamo Olivia Basolo, vivo de Colonia Barrio Nuevo, de aquí de San Mateo del Mar. Y pues gracias por el apoyo, y el temblor nos dejó feo la casa y pues muchas personas no tienen dónde vivir, dónde quedar. Gracias por la despensa.
Me llamo Margarita Villaseñor Valverde, de San Mateo del Mar. Gracias, Emmanuel TV.
Mi nombre es Araceli Salomón, pertenezco aquí en el pueblo de San Mateo, pueblo Icots, y mi experiencia en el terremoto fue algo horrible. Sí, no pude salir con mis hijos, me quedé ahí encerrada con mis dos pequeños, y yo creí que en ese momento la casa se iba a caer y todas las cosas empezaron a tirarse. Y lo último que pude hacer es levantar a mis hijos y refugiarlos en mis brazos, y solamente pues oramos y le di gracias a Dios que Él nos cubriera, que nos protegiera. Y muchísimas gracias, gracias Emmanuel TV por esta oportunidad, por este apoyo que ustedes nos han enviado hasta aquí en el pueblo Icots. Muchísimas gracias de corazón. Gracias.
Esto es a nombre de mi madre. Y bendito Dios que ustedes se están acordando de nosotros, y que Dios les dé más. Y no puedo seguir porque como igual y el sello pedí a mi padre y ya no puedo hablar más. Pero bendito Dios que están aquí apoyándonos, y muchísimas gracias, y que Dios les dé vida a ustedes también.
De Chicapa de Castro. Como me llamo Catalina Sánchez de la Rosa. Gracias a Emmanuel TV.
Sí, mi nombre es Jacinto Orozco Sánchez. Aquí con mi familia estamos recibiendo el apoyo. Debido al terremoto que atravesamos, fue una pesadilla para nosotros el sentir. Y damos gracias a Emmanuel TV por este apoyo que para nosotros va a ser muy significativo, ya que en estos tiempos estamos atravesando por de muchas cosas difíciles.
México ya fue comprado con la sangre de Jesucristo. Ahora es libre del pecado, ya es perdonado.
Some families travelled quite a distance from the surrounding areas on hearing that the Emmanuel TV earthquake relief team was coming. Happily, they board different vehicles, able to return home with a degree of satisfaction for their successful journey. Others who live nearby take the stroll home, proudly holding their gift boxes for all to see, and others wait in the shade for their transportation. It is amazing to see the impact a simple gift can bring. For love is a language that transcends all barriers, understood by both young and old alike.
Me llamo hermana Arcelia López García. Muchas gracias, Señor, tus bendiciones, toda mi vida te la debo yo a ti. Así como cuidas de las aves, toda mi vida depende de ti. Te agradezco, Señor, por tus favores, toda mi vida te la debo yo a ti. Así como cuidas de las aves, toda mi vida depende de ti. Gracias, Emmanuel TV.
Leticia López Orozco. Soy aquí de Chicapa de Castro. Y yo perdí mi olla, perdí casi un pedazo de mi casa y pues yo de echar tortilla, pues eso es que vivo para que doy a Leticia López Orozco. Soy aquí de Chicapa de Castro. Y yo perdí mi olla, perdí casi un pedazo de mi casa y pues yo de echar tortilla, pues eso es que vivo para que doy aquí la mantención de mis hijos, de mi esposo. Mi esposo es campesino, casi no tiene trabajo y aquí ya de eso vivimos, pues aquí yo tengo 5 hijos.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Emmanuel Santiago, soy originario de Chicapa de Castro y pues este proyecto nació después de que sucedió el terremoto aquí en Chicapa de Castro. Muchas familias se quedaron sin un sustento que fueron los hornos que aquí son utilizados para hacer tortillas hechas a mano. Básicamente es un producto muy artesanal y que genera empleo aquí en el pueblo. El horno está compuesto básicamente de una olla grande en la cual se trabaja la tortilla, primero se amasa y después se pega a las orillas de las ollas. Estamos hablando de una temperatura muy caliente para que este producto pueda salir. Necesitamos 100 hornos para que se reactive la economía en Chicapa de Castro y 100 familias sean beneficiadas por este medio.
So the Emmanuel TV team has heard about the wonderful project which you're doing to restart the economy here in the village of Chicapa de Castro by providing the pot oven liners so that people can start to make the tortillas and earn a living again. So on behalf of TV Joshua and the Emmanuel TV Partners, we'd like to sponsor 100 of these pottery oven liners, and it gives us great pleasure therefore to present you with 35,000 pesos for the manufacture of the oven liners and for the transport.
Muchas gracias por este apoyo porque va a beneficiar a muchas familias aquí en Chicapa de Castro. De todo corazón, muchas gracias. Thank you for your help with all my heart. Emmanuel TV.
The next port of call was Santa Maria del Mar, a secluded village community accessible only by water. On the way to Santa Maria del Mar, the team traverse a rough track to the shoreline where the boats have been arranged to take the team across to another area affected by the earthquake that have received little or no assistance at all.
Just as Jesus Christ himself is the solution to the problems of all mankind, so he expects us to be a solution to someone in trouble. This is a coastal area of Oaxaca state known as El Faro, where the boats come to take people to a very remote and isolated village called Santa Maria del Mar. And the Emmanuel TV team right now is preparing to take boxes with food and hygiene provisions to this isolated community.
The Emmanuel TV team's vehicle reverses into a good position to allow the team to load the precious cargo of food, and hygiene supplies into the boat for transportation across the sea. Everybody lends a hand to get the scores of colourful boxes of much-needed supplies properly stowed in the boats. The well-worn wooden slats make a good platform for wedging the boxes squarely into the boat so that they won't topple over during the voyage. The Emmanuel TV team form a chain with the local fishermen to quickly pass the boxes into the boats, and as the saying goes, many hands make light work. With the boats loaded up, they are covered in a thick green tarpaulin to protect the relief boxes and their precious contents from the elements. Finally, fastening the whole thing securely with strong ropes, the boats were ready to depart for Santa Maria del Mar. A light rain began to fall as the team pushes off from the shore. The fishermen navigate the beautiful, clear waters of the Pacific Ocean as we head to the remote village. In different circumstances, the surroundings could make for a perfect holiday getaway, but after the violence of the earthquake, the isolation from the rest of the world just makes help all the harder to come by.
Travelling in tandem, the boats move as fast as the heavy load of cargo and passengers can permit to clear the vast expanse of water. The shore leading to the village comes into view on the horizon, and the boats reduce their speed as they near the land. The expert fishermen maneuver the boats close to the shore to make a good approach for a safe landing. Largely untouched, the rustic setting boasts of only a few boats moored nearby. As the first boat pulls gently onto the shore, the rain, which had been their companion over the sea, softens. As the rain gradually dies down, the team once again form a chain and pass the earthquake relief boxes quickly ashore, stacking them high in the waiting vehicles. Amazed at the effort of the team to reach their community, villagers are glad to assist in bringing the boxes out of the boats and loading them up. Let's hear the experience of the night of the earthquake from one of the indigents of Santa Maria del Mar.
Mi nombre es Ciro González Martínez, soy nativo de aquí de Santa María del Mar. El día 7 de septiembre, como a las 10:30 de la noche, sentimos un retumbo como de un rugido de este mar del Océano Pacífico. Se sintió muy fuerte, estábamos ya casi descansando con mi familia y de repente en el mar sintió un gran rugido y dijo así como un rugido, y tardó y toda la gente tuvo pánico. Entonces, en ese momento nosotros nos buscamos por dónde salir de la casa, escuchamos ruido, lloradera de niños y muchas bardas, casas tiradas al suelo, pero pues yo doy gracias a Dios porque no nos pasó nada a pesar de que es un pueblo aislado. En este momento damos gracias al hermano TV Joshua y a los socios de Emmanuel por colaborar y por donar, por brindar su corazón a Santa María del Mar. Estamos muy agradecidos.
A beautiful blue hue has returned to the skies as the Emmanuel TV team are driven along the winding path to the village community. On arrival, help is at hand to unload the relief boxes as quickly as possible. For outside, word of the Emmanuel TV team's arrival has travelled fast, and already a line of people has formed to meet them and see what is going on. More and more large families come on foot from the corners of the region. Despite the recent disaster, the arrival of the Emmanuel TV team brings with it an atmosphere of joy and happiness. And the residents smile and wave for the camera as they await the proceedings to get underway. Even the children are happy at all the excitement in their rural home. Just as in the other communities, one big box of food and hygiene items is given per family, with some assistance on hand to help the weaker or more aged members of the community to carry theirs home with them. Grateful receiving, like gracious giving, comes from the heart, and the expression on their faces says it all. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for remembering us in our time of need.
Ya fue comprado con la sangre de Jesucristo, ahora es libre del pecado, ya es perdonado.
As the families lined up, the Emmanuel TV team took time to speak with some of them to hear what had happened to them and their beloved village during the quake. Let's listen to a few of them.
Yo soy Nailea Martínez Jiménez, somos de Santa María del Mar, Juchitán, Oaxaca. El día que sucedió la tragedia del terremoto, pues fue un día de que nosotros pensábamos que iba a ser el único día que íbamos a estar vivos en esta tierra, pero pues gracias a Dios estamos con vida y gracias a Televisa Emmanuel por la despensa que nos ha traído.
Bueno, soy Asael González Luis, soy de aquí de Santa María del Mar y mi experiencia con el sismo fue, pues la verdad fue una noche muy espantoso para mí y para mi familia. Tengo 2 hijos, uno de 10 y uno de 4 años y mi esposa embarazada. En ese día pues estamos durmiendo cuando nos agarró el terremoto. Pues la verdad la puerta se atoró y no podemos salir de ese lugar. No pude salir de mi casa, no pude hacer otra cosa más que confiar en Dios. Le doy gracias a Emmanuel TV, le doy gracias al profeta TV Joshua, que nos ha visitado después de muchas distancias que ha recorrido llegar a este pueblo. Aquí, como pueden ver, estamos en medio del mar. Eso le quiero agradecer a los hermanos, a Emmanuel TV, por las despensas, por verla, para dar un momento de felicidad a los niños, a las mujeres y en especial también a este pueblo Santa María del Mar.
Quiero saber si conoces la verdad de Jesucristo.
The Emmanuel TV team also provided ingredients for the community to have a big meal together following the distribution of the food and hygiene relief boxes. Women of the region joyfully prepare the feast together, some making the special tortilla bread in the traditional way, sticking the dough to the round oven-like pots. while on the other side of the kitchen, a large vat of rice, dotted with colorful slices of vegetables, is simmering away nicely. This woman keeps an experienced eye on some beautifully seasoned shrimp, stirring it gently. Just a little while longer and the celebration will begin.
México ya fue comprado con la sangre de Jesucristo.
Doesn't that look good? Big spoonfuls of rice are heaped upon the plates with a generous helping of the chicken sauce. A local juice is served alongside the meal to wash it all down with. With a smile, the Emmanuel TV team takes delight in serving the people with a good hot meal. While some groups serve out the rice, others serve the tortilla bread, and with healthy dollops of the spicy green sauce, a local favorite.
Ahora es libre del pecado, ya es perdonado. México ya fue comprado con la sangre de Jesucristo. Ahora es libre del pecado, ya es perdonado.
After the lovely meal and excitement of the day's event, the children of Santa Maria del Mar had this to say.
Gracias, Dios, por visitar.